Hey guys, Trevor Hold here again. We've just been going on a bushwalk, I think it's 7-8 kilometre walk here, just on the outskirts of Brisbane, here in Queensland, Australia. I made a couple of videos. One I accidentally stopped at the end of it, but talked about what we're trying to achieve, SMART goals, and identifying that sort of stuff on these empowerment programs. So I'm talking about, I've got a trading name. I've been in business since 2002. I think it was first 2 years as a sole trader. I had the registered name of Hold Technologies. In 2004, I think it was 7th of July, I registered that as a company, Pty Limited structure. So I've been in business a fairly long time, 20 plus years, 21 years I think this year. So over that time I've had a lot of endeavours. I had my free collect program doing landfill reduction programs, a lot of design, computer aided drafting, 3D modelling, that sort of stuff. Had wheelie bin contracts, battery U-Labs, used lead acid battery programs, and a few scrap merchants, a few other business book, my business optimal complete organising database system for managing projects. So I've had a diverse range of projects in that time. Genesis Novell, Pastures and Agriculture, where we breed miniature cattle, do bananas, and we've got a horse program now. So that's been going about 10 years. So that's one of my staple businesses. The last two, it must be nearly 4 years now, I've been looking at mental health and trying to help other people. So I've done my Cert 4 mental health, completed my diploma in counselling, and I set up a business venture called Amber Resolve. So part of what I do at Amber Resolve is empowerment programs. So we're looking at that. Originally we looked at SMART goals and talking about what the customer wants to be empowered and how we can help. The link between physical fitness, diet, and mental health creates overall wellness. So we looked at that. We talked about, in the second video, we talked about appreciation, optimism, circle of influence, and some of them things. And we led to the concept about complexity. So for me, that's a big staple for what I do. People might think I live a very complex life. I've run several businesses, always got different endeavours going and always busy. It's generally who I am. But that doesn't come naturally. It didn't just happen overnight. It wasn't natural. I had to work on myself as a person, generate support around me, and slowly create layers of complexity in my life to be able to deal with more complexities. So often people have this thing of simplifying your life, be simple, keep it simple, stupid, and all these sayings about simple lifestyles and regressing, and I went through a stage like that too, regressing. But for me now, looking at what's so suicide's big in Australia, probably most countries, I suppose. Australia's no Robinson Crusoe, but approximately 10 people die by suicide every day in Australia. Very tragic. Obviously, that affects, for every death by suicide, there's families and friends that are also affected. And I did hear a figure, I don't know what it was now, but probably thousands of people, in addition to the people that do die by suicide, are affected emotionally as a direct result of their loss. So I'm very passionate about suicide prevention, and one of the things I've been looking at is in my own life. So I've worked in the construction industry, I've worked in the mining industry and manufacturing industries. These are predominantly male industries, male dominated industries. I know they're getting a little bit better these days, but generally they're associated with or classified as high risk industries. Several reasons for that, I suppose, could be identified. Casualisation of the workforce and only signing people on for contracted periods to do a specific job, and then you have to go and find the next job, and it's hard to plan your life without knowing whether you're going to have any income next month. So that's a big factor. But working in these industries for 20 plus years, I've seen 4 people die on the work site, and death or injury on a work site also can create a lot of trauma. So that could be another contributing factor. One I saw was quite graphic and quite vile. I won't traumatise anyone talking about it further, but these sort of events in people's working lives create lasting impressions that could create negative results and lead to death by suicide. So as a teenager, I had my own experiences with attempts of suicide. I've been quite open and honest about that for a while now, and don't try to hide the fact. I feel that now that experience has led to who I am today and the strength that I have. But witnessing a lot of my peers, marriage breakdowns, and a lot of these jobs were fly in, fly out, 7 days on, 7 days off, or 14 days on, 7 days off, or 21 days on, 7 days off. One project I was off overseas for 3 months. I couldn't get back to my family. So, it creates a lot of issues and with your relationships, and then that can create issues in your life as well. So looking at all these issues that I've encountered and witnessed and all my peers have struggled with over the years, I feel I've managed to keep my relationship together, raise my 3 kids, and prospered to the best I could in business and in personal lives. Not that I have a big social network or anything, but I've got a very strong bond with my partner and the kids. So I was looking at some of the things that made that possible, and one of the things that I look back on is I've always been busy. I've always been busy. So I created a program about that. Now, like I said, complexity has a dirty ring to it, and but we've looked at this before, and I've seen it on LinkedIn and a few other places too. But there's a stress curve, and they call it good stress or bad stress, and there's different words for it. I don't know, I'm not that much of a scholar for it, but if you've got no stress in your life, you've got no motivation to do anything, and you can just sit at home. But obviously, if you're trying to do something, you want a sweet spot for performance. So when you're trying to perform, you need a certain amount of stress to perform at your peak, but you don't want too much stress that you burn out. So it's just finding that sweet spot. where your performance and your stress levels are optimal. And that's a balancing act, I suppose. I'm doing my podcast and I talk to someone about that being like a tug of war, you know. Sometimes you're in front and sometimes you're in behind of that sort of curve. But to be able to deal with stress and improve your performance, I feel that you need structures in place. Foundations are important. So obviously there's different people, and I don't know their names, but talk about they talk about if you get your fundamentals on track, then you can start looking at your, improving yourself. So if you're starving hungry and you haven't got food, it's hard to develop your social skills, isn't it? So fundamentally you want to make sure you got your roof over your head, food in your belly. Obviously in the modern society that we live in, money and income and jobs. So focus on all the important fundamental stuff first and get that right, and that's like laying a foundation. And once you've got your sort of foundation right, you can sort of work on your relationships and get into a nice relationship and start finding that person and building that foundation, and it could be easier for some people than other people, because some people might naturally have a strong family network that are supportive. I personally haven't known that. I've had to work hard for everything and what I had. So some people might find it easier than others to start building that foundation up, to get that supportive environment and get that supportive partner, and to remove a lot of the negativity around you, and it can be quite difficult. But as you slowly build on that foundation, you can push yourself a little bit more because you've got that support in place. So if you haven't got it naturally, you've got to try and, within your life that you're born into, then you've got to try and look for it through joining social clubs, sporting clubs, hobbies. So by doing the things that you enjoy, you can find other people that enjoy similar things, and you've already got that common interest that you can look at developing to create some strong relationships. So I feel if we can work towards that to build up your foundation, then you can work towards the next thing in life, and then you can start creating environments of several different communities that you participate in. So you might join a hobby group, and then you might start doing a sporting group to get your fitness goals up, and then suddenly you got a few people in a few different areas, and it's sort of like not putting all your eggs into one basket. So if you got one close friend and you spend all your energy and all your efforts in that close friend, and suddenly that close friend dies, gets run over by a bus, tragic, but suddenly you could be in a spiraling downturn because that's your only moral support that you had. And that's quite extreme, obviously, but as an example, trying to get a good network, a diverse network around you to support you could be beneficial. So I talk about that a lot in building complexities, and part of that, building your foundations up. And that's one thing that I've learnt to create resilience is diversity. Diversity creates resilience. Now, a lot of people, and this is two ways of thinking in the business world, you can either be a jack of all trades or you can be a specialist. Hang on, there might be someone coming. Is it? No. Sometimes there's some bikes on here. Or you can be a specialist. So, just depends on your way of thinking. But to me, if you're a specialist newspaper printer, for example, and you focused all your energy on printing newspapers, and you were the best newspaper printer in the world. Hey guys. Yeah. Good, thanks. Hey. And you're the best newspaper printer in the world, and now with this digital world, it hasn't helped you, has it? You know, so you still got to progress with the world, and diversity is the key to that, I believe. Anyway, that's one of my feelings, and so working on these things, so that way if something falls over, you got other things to pick you up again. But we'll talk more about complexities. It's a whole program that I run, and it's just trying to put good complexities in your life, because obviously you can add complexities in your life through drama here and drama there, and that's not good to have for anyone's emotional, you know. I know, well, some people probably live on drama, I suppose, but generally speaking, so you can get good and bad complexity in your life. The other thing is too, timing is everything. So waiting for the correct timing of things. The sun is going to come up when the sun's come up. There's nothing you can do to change that. You got to get something done by 6 o'clock in the morning, and it's very important for you to get it done, and you can't do it without daylight. There's nothing you can do to get that sun to come up at 2 o'clock in the morning. It's going to come up at whatever time it's going to come up. So timing is important. So things can happen in their own time. They will happen. So try not to push that timing is another big thing about building complexities. But yeah, we'll talk about it further. I'll get out me spreadsheets and talk about it. But that's something that at Amber Resolve is what we talk about, and just being aware of these strategies, I suppose, and working out what works for you as an individual or as a business is where it's at, and that's through conversation. So generally we can talk about all the theory in the world and talk about all the concepts and discoveries that I've made or that I've documented or whatever, you know, but ultimately it's trying to work with individuals with what they have. Everyone's story is different. Everyone starts off in a different spot, and just trying to work with them on that. But yeah, it's a quite interesting subject. Anyway, guys, I'm gonna keep walking. Feel free to check out my website at amberresolve.com or reach out in person. I'm happy to talk about how we can help you become the best you can be. Have a great day. Bye.